MAC for the start of high school volleyball here in McAlester, as the Buffaloes are going to be playing host to the Wagoner Bulldogs for senior night. And you did hear that correctly. It's a season opener, and it's also senior night. They wanted to get the festivities out of the way here to begin the season and just worry on playing the games from here on out. So we've got the Buffaloes hosting 4A opponent in Wagoner, and we've got senior night going on currently. The many seniors that we're dealing with right now for the Buffaloes, we've got Kyra Kelly, Jalen Moscato, Maddie Harvey, Elena Christie, Eli Bass, Jalen Jewell, Hannah Harrison, Logan Bradish, and Aubrey Polo. Those are all the seniors here from McAlester tonight. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and pass it on over to PA as you can listen to the senior night festivities.
Logan is the daughter of Julie and Cody and Aaron Bradish. She's played volleyball for 6 years, 2 years on the varsity team. She's a member of the National Honor Society, Indian National Honor Society. Logan plans to attend the University of Oklahoma and study nursing. Ms. Logan Bradish. Elena Christie is our next senior. Is the daughter of Secretary Christie. She is a 2-year member of the volleyball team. She is active in student council and plays club volleyball. Her freshman year, she is the MVP, 15th national qualifier, 2-time 7-piece silver champion, 7-piece gold champion. She plans to attend college to become an assistant teacher. Ms. Elena Christie. Is the daughter of David and Rachel Harris. She started playing volleyball in the 7th grade and has been on the varsity team for 3 years. She is a member of the Michigan Technology Center National Honor Society. She is on the Principal's Honor Roll and received the most improved award in volleyball. Hannah plans to attend college and become a medical coder. Ms. Hannah Harris. Our next senior is Madison Harvey. She is the daughter of Gordon and Casey Harvey. She's played volleyball since the 7th grade and the last 2 years on the varsity team. She is a member of the MHS National Honor Society, the Cognitive Technical Center National Honor Society. She was the 2023 Volleyball Defensive Player of the Year. She's been on the Superintendent's Honor Roll for 2 years. She plans to attend college and be a degree of business management. Ms. Madison Harvey. Our next senior is Jalen Jewell. Jalen is the daughter of Jamie. She has been playing volleyball for 5 years. She is active in the student council and has been on the Superintendent's Honor Roll for 2 years. Jalen plans to attend college and get a degree in radiology. It's Jalen. With Kyra Johnson is our next senior. With Kyra is the daughter of Amy Johnson. She played volleyball for 2 years and has been the manager for the last 2 years. She's also been in football and soccer manager for 4 years. Ms. Kyra Johnson. Our next senior is Jalen Moscato. Jalen is the daughter of David and Sylvia Moscato. She's been playing volleyball since the 7th grade and on the varsity team for 3 years. She's a member of the National Technical Honor Society. In 2022, she was on the first place team in Circuit High. David plans to attend Oklahoma State University and stay in the industry. It's Jalen Moscato. Our last name is Aubrey Moore. Aubrey is the daughter of Shelley Labor. She's a 3-year member of the volleyball team and 4-year member of the trial team. Aubrey plays third in heavyweight powerlifting district this year. Aubrey plans to own her own business someday. It's Aubrey Bulldogs. See, all this is learned and experienced with you through every in life. Remember, once a buffalo, always a buffalo. Let's give these teams a big round of applause.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, those were the senior night festivities. Once again, all of those seniors are Kyra Kelly, Ellie Bass, Hannah Harrison, Jalen Moscato, Maddie Harvey, Elena Christie, Logan Bradish, Aubrey Polam, and Jalen Jewell. Now, this is a YouTube stream, audio and video only. Tonight, we are not going to be on the radio, so if you want to catch us, YouTube is that only avenue, but we'll be here for you for the entire game. One thing we are going to go ahead and do is take a 90-second ad break as we are being sponsored by Consignment Exchange, Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford, and McAlester Clothing Consignment. We'll be right back. You are listening and watching senior night coverage of McAlester Volleyball against Wagoner.
McAlester Softball and Volleyball is being sponsored by Consignment Exchange, and I've been doing commercials for them since I was 8 years old. Here's the connection. My great-grandfather and grandmother started the business over 50 years ago. Now my papa, Nana, and Aunt Cleora have continued. The idea was to give a place where folks could buy quality previously owned furniture, and now it's grown as a place where families who need to liquidate estates or simply have something they need to sell, Consignment Exchange is that place. At 9 years old, I came up with the tag of McAllister's favorite furniture store is Consignment, Highway 69 South, and it still is.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula. With 2 locations to choose from, we have close to 200 vehicles on the ground and coming in. And with vehicles starting at $29.95, we have something for everyone. And if you need parts or service, we are loading up at both locations to serve you better. Plus, with our mobile service van and our pickup and delivery, we can help you with sales and service no matter where you are. So come see us at Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula and let us make it happen for you.
McAlester Clothing Consignment accepts consignments on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. All items must be gently used and in good shape. Please label all bags, boxes, or totes with the consignor's name. The limit on bags is 2 13-gallon bags per consignor per week. The consignment split is 50-50. Hey, bargain shoppers, we have all types of clothing, home decor, toys, hand tools, handbags, jewelry, sports equipment, and more. McAlester Clothing Consignment, 405 East Chickasaw Avenue, Suite B, McAlester. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Sundays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Call 918-318-7986.
Welcome back to the MAC. Chase McNutt joining you live here on McAlester Radio's YouTube stream. It is 6:54. We are getting ready for the start of senior night as the Buffaloes will be playing host to the Wagoner Bulldogs, a 4A non-district opponent for the Buffaloes. They're coming off a 16-14 year under head coach Chris Burns last season. The Buffaloes, their season ended against Duncan. That was in October when they fell in 4 sets, 26-28, 25-17, 25-19, and 25-18. Once again, that was to Duncan. And just looking back to the schedule last year, the Buffaloes did face off Wagoner 2 separate times, and they were undefeated. They beat Wagoner the first time in the McAlester tournament in 2 straight sets, 25-14 and 25-4. That was back on August 26th. Then you go a little bit forward just from last year and backward from this year to September the 9th when they beat Wagoner, who at that point was ranked number 16. They beat them in 2 straight sets, 25-17 and 25-17. Trying to look for a lot more of the same here this evening as the Buffaloes mentioned. Trying to get the season started off right, wearing their black-on-black uniforms with gold numbering and lettering. Looks like maybe there is some light white trim around the outside of the lettering and the numbering as well. Some gold lines and stripes down the side, along with some white as well. Now, I do want to say, just on my side of things, this is my first time here in the MAC. Obviously, I graduated from McAlester back in 2017, and so Brumley was the main gym and really the only gym that we've had. So getting to experience the MAC here, it's a great building, and there's a great crowd here tonight as well. One of the best crowds I've seen at a McAlester event inside of a gym. But really, the home crowd has shown up well, trying to cheer on the Lady Buffs as they're going for their first win of the season. We will have plenty of coverage of McAlester High School volleyball this fall. Now, we won't be back again until September the 10th after this one, just due to some other obligations and football getting ready to start up as well. So the schedule's really going to be busy, but don't worry, we're going to be able to get you your fix of high school volleyball. And for the first time ever, we're going to be covering high school volleyball. All those games are going to be right here on McAllister's YouTube page. Now, it looked like the JV girls, because we're starting a little bit late just because JV ran a little bit behind on the JV side. Looked like they grabbed a win as well. We also had 9th grade playing, and once again, it's just been a really good turnout. We've got the soccer team over to our right. The cheerleading squad is here as well, and the home faithful, fans, family, everybody just relishing in the senior night. Now, normally, senior night is played the last home game of the season, just kind of to commemorate the season and just congratulate and celebrate what will be your final game here, but it's a little bit different. They're doing it to start the season. They want to get it out of the way and just focus on the season, and that way that be their main objective. And I think that's a great idea by head coach Chris Burns just for these ladies, and hopefully they can get things started out right with a W this evening. We will have your coverage on our YouTube stream only. And we do have a stationary camera, so if you were to go to the McAlester Radio YouTube right now, you'd be able to hear me as well as seeing everything down happening on the court in front of us. Now, going to go ahead and run through some other house cleaning items. Not really as important as we're not outside as we were with softball, but it's 94 degrees right now, and it's almost 7 o'clock. We're getting to a really hot part. I know that it's been hot all summer, had a little bit of a reprieve over the last few weeks, had some weather in the high 80s, which at this point feels like it's in the 60s with the way things have been. Currently 94 degrees. We were over triple digits for a short moment. We will be as well this weekend. So just be sure you're not doing too much. That heat index value was also pretty high as well. But right now, you're not suffering any chance of getting any sunburns if you're wanting to go outside. That UV index is pretty low now. Yeah, it's at 0. And there's not really been a lot of wind to deviate from that heat. But again, we're inside. It's actually pretty chilly, if I do say so myself. But I'll take that over sitting in my own sweat any day of the week. So it's 6:58. I think we have about 2.5 minutes until we're going to get started. One thing we can kind of go through here is now I do have some numbers that don't match up, but I'll try and do it to the best of my ability. I believe the starting lineup for McAlester will consist of Natalia Molina. I think we'll also see Ellie Bass out there as well. I do think I might have a JV spreadsheet from earlier, or score sheet, but as I mentioned, Jalen Moscato as well. I do believe as well that Hannah Harrison will be getting some play tonight, and we'll just kind of go through it as it happens. This is my first time calling volleyball, so I beg you just, stick with me. It'll get better, and that's all I'm going to say on that. So again, we're about a minute and 40 away from the start of the season, and pretty excited. Should be some good action for a team that was over 500 last year, and for McAlester Volleyball, ended the season on a really high note. I know that they lost in the regional tournament to Duncan, but going into that, they had won 5 of their last 6 and 6 of their last 9 in the month of September, the last part of it going into October. So hopefully some of that momentum to the end of the season carries over to the start of this season. A very senior-heavy team. I mentioned there's 8 seniors that were represented tonight. You've also got a good number of juniors, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think 4 juniors as well. And not a lot of underclassmen, just a couple of sophomores on the roster. And no freshmen, as the freshmen will have their own team. But we're now under a minute. Hope you guys have enjoyed your week so far. We are on Thursday now. It's officially 7 o'clock. Almost a Friday as well. Hope your week has been good and the weekend is even better for you. Hopefully we can get you started with a McAlester Buffalo win here today to kind of roll you over into the weekend and get the festivities started off right here at the MAC. Now, I know, speaking for myself, I can't speak for everybody. This is my first time over at the MAC. If you don't know about it, it's a new gym that's been built recently. In the last few years, it's just adjacent to the high school. So instead of having to drive, not really across town, but about a good 7, 8, maybe 10-minute drive over to where Bob Brumley is. Don't got to make that drive anymore. We're just right here, just up the parking lot. You go. And as you can hear, that is the buzzer. As both teams are just about done with their warm-ups, it looks like McAlester will start on the right side. Mentioned wearing their black on black. Wagoner is wearing white jerseys, red numbering and lettering with black trimming and red shorts. This is going to be a 5-set match. Best of 5, so the first to win 3. So this could be finished in 3 sets. Just kind of depends on how things play out. Let's see if we can get a look down near center court. Mitchell, we do have just a single camera view. We'll be running the scoreboard ourselves. I know that you can kind of see it, though, at the very top half of the middle of the screen. So either way, we should have you covered. But I hope you guys enjoyed the coverage that we're bringing for you. Mitchell, this is the first time that KNED has been able to provide coverage on the streaming side or the commentary side for volleyball, softball, as well as we've already done 2 games this week. Unfortunately, the Lady Buffs have not been able to grab a win. Started off 0-2. Softball was actually supposed to play today, but with it being volleyball senior night, things got rescheduled, which brings us to this. Now, I mentioned we're sponsored by Consignment Exchange, also Freedom Ford, Sam Wampler, and also McAlester Clothing Consignment. Now, for Consignment Exchange, they were founded on the premise that new furniture was often out of reach of many families struggling to make ends meet. Well, that was over 40 years ago. How much more is that true today? They have helped literally thousands of folks over the years, young couples just getting started, parents sending kids to school, or folks trying to stretch every dollar. Consignment has met the needs for all kinds of furniture and beds and so much more. Remember, McAllister's favorite furniture store is Consignment, Highway 69 South. We're going to take a short 60-second ad break. We'll be right back. You're listening to McAlester High School Softball live on the McAlester Radio YouTube page. We will be right back.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula. With 2 locations to choose from, we have close to 200 vehicles on the ground and coming in. And with vehicles starting at $29.95, we have something for everyone. And if you need parts or service, we are loading up at both locations to serve you better. Plus, with our mobile service van and our pickup and delivery, we can help you with sales and service no matter where you are. So come see us at Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula and let us make it happen for you.
McAlester Clothing Consignment accepts consignments on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. All items must be gently used and in good shape. Please label all bags, boxes, or totes with the consignor's name. The limit on bags is 2 13-gallon bags per consignor per week. The consignment split is 50-50. Hey, bargain shoppers, we have all types of clothing, home decor, toys, handles, handbags, jewelry, sports equipment, and more. McAlester Clothing Consignment, 405 East Chickasaw Avenue, Suite B, McAlester. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Sundays 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Call 918-318-7986.
McAlester Softball and Volleyball is being sponsored by Consignment Exchange, and I've been doing commercials for them since I was 8 years old. Here's the connection. My great-grandfather and grandmother started the business over 50 years ago. Now my papa, Nana, and Aunt Cleora have continued. The idea was to give a place where folks could buy quality previously owned furniture, and now it's grown as a place where families who need to liquidate estates or simply have something they need to sell, Consignment Exchange is that place. At 9 years old, I came up with the tag of McAllister's favorite furniture store is Consignment, Highway 69 South, and it still is.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula. With 2 locations to choose from, we have close to 200 vehicles on the ground and coming in. And with vehicles starting at $29.95, we have something for everyone. And if you need parts or service, we are loading up at both locations to serve you better. Plus, with our mobile service van and our pickup and delivery, we can help you with sales and service no matter where you are. So come see us at Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula and let us make it happen for you.
McAlester Clothing Consignment accepts consignments on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. All items must be gently used and in good shape. Please label all bags, boxes, or totes with the consignor's name. The limit on bags is 2 13-gallon bags per consignor per week. The consignment split is 50-50. Hey, bargain shoppers, we have all types of clothing, home decor, toys, handles, handbags, jewelry, sports equipment, and more. McAlester Clothing Consignment, 405 East Chickasaw Avenue, Suite B, McAlester. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Sundays 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Call 918-318-7986.
McAlester Softball and Volleyball is being sponsored by Consignment Exchange, and I've been doing commercials for them since I was 8 years old. Here's the connection. My great-grandfather and grandmother started the business over 50 years ago. Now my papa, Nana, and Aunt Cleora have continued. The idea was to give a place where folks could buy quality previously owned furniture, and now it's grown as a place where families who need to liquidate estates or simply have something they need to sell, Consignment Exchange is that place. At 9 years old, I came up with the tag of McAllister's favorite furniture store is Consignment, Highway 69 South, and it still is.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula. With 2 locations to choose from, we have close to 200 vehicles on the ground and coming in. And with vehicles starting at $29.95, we have something for everyone. And if you need parts or service, we are loading up at both locations to serve you better. Plus, with our mobile service van and our pickup and delivery, we can help you with sales and service no matter where you are. So come see us at Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula and let us make it happen for you.
McAlester Clothing Consignment accepts consignments on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. All items must be gently used and in good shape. Please label all bags, boxes, or totes with the consignor's name. The limit on bags is 2 13-gallon bags per consignor per week. The consignment split is 50-50. Hey, bargain shoppers, we have all types of clothing, home decor, toys, handles, handbags, jewelry, sports equipment, and more. McAlester Clothing Consignment, 405 East Chickasaw Avenue, Suite B, McAlester. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Sundays 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Call 918-318-7986.
Welcome back to the MAC here in McAlester for senior night for high school volleyball as they're taking on the Wagoner Bulldogs. We still got a little bit of a wait. We've got about 5.5 minutes left on the warm-ups before we'll get this game started. So just wanted to give you guys an update, not abandoning you or anything, but we will go ahead and take a little bit more of a longer break. We'll be right back with continued coverage right here on the McAlester Radio YouTube page. We'll be right back. We're sponsored by Consignment Exchange, Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford, and McAlester Clothing Consignment. Don't go anywhere.
McAlester Softball and Volleyball is being sponsored by Consignment Exchange, and I've been doing commercials for them since I was 8 years old. Here's the connection. My great-grandfather and grandmother started the business over 50 years ago. Now my papa, Nana, and Aunt Cleora have continued. The idea was to give a place where folks could buy quality previously owned furniture, and now it's grown as a place where families who need to liquidate estates or simply have something they need to sell, Consignment Exchange is that place. At 9 years old, I came up with the tag of McAllister's favorite furniture store is Consignment, Highway 69 South, and it still is.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula. With 2 locations to choose from, we have close to 200 vehicles on the ground and coming in. And with vehicles starting at $29.95, we have something for everyone. And if you need parts or service, we are loading up at both locations to serve you better. Plus, with our mobile service van and our pickup and delivery, we can help you with sales and service no matter where you are. So come see us at Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula and let us make it happen for you.
McAlester Clothing Consignment accepts consignments on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. All items must be gently used and in good shape. Please label all bags, boxes, or totes with the consignor's name. The limit on bags is 2 13-gallon bags per consignor per week. The consignment split is 50-50. Hey, bargain shoppers, we have all types of clothing, home decor, toys, hand tools, handbags, jewelry, sports equipment, and more. McAlester Clothing Consignment, 405 East Chickasaw Avenue, Suite B, McAlester. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Sundays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Call 918-318-7986.
McAlester Softball and Volleyball is being sponsored by Consignment Exchange, and I've been doing commercials for them since I was 8 years old. Here's the connection. My great-grandfather and grandmother started the business over 50 years ago. Now my papa, Nana, and Aunt Cleora have continued. The idea was to give a place where folks could buy quality previously owned furniture, and now it's grown as a place where families who need to liquidate estates or simply have something they need to sell, Consignment Exchange is that place. At 9 years old, I came up with the tag of McAllister's favorite furniture store is Consignment, Highway 69 South, and it still is.
McAlester Clothing Consignment accepts consignments on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. All items must be gently used and in good shape. Please label all bags, boxes, or totes with the consignor's name. The limit on bags is 2 13-gallon bags per consignor per week. The consignment split is 50-50. Hey, bargain shoppers, we have all types of clothing, home decor, toys, hand tools, handbags, jewelry, sports equipment, and more. McAlester Clothing Consignment, 405 East Chickasaw Avenue, Suite B, McAlester. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Sundays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Call 918-318-7986.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula. With 2 locations to choose from, we have close to 200 vehicles on the ground and coming in. And with vehicles starting at $29.95, we have something for everyone. And if you need parts or service, we are loading up at both locations to serve you better. Plus, with our mobile service van and our pickup and delivery, we can help you with sales and service no matter where you are. So come see us at Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula and let us make it happen for you.
McAlester Softball and Volleyball is being sponsored by Consignment Exchange, and I've been doing commercials for them since I was 8 years old. Here's the connection. My great-grandfather and grandmother started the business over 50 years ago. Now my papa, Nana, and Aunt Cleora have continued. The idea was to give a place where folks could buy quality previously owned furniture, and now it's grown as a place where families who need to liquidate estates or simply have something they need to sell, Consignment Exchange is that place. At 9 years old, I came up with the tag of McAllister's favorite furniture store is Consignment, Highway 69 South, and it still is.
McAlester Clothing Consignment accepts consignments on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. All items must be gently used and in good shape. Please label all bags, boxes, or totes with the consignor's name. The limit on bags is 2 13-gallon bags per consignor per week. The consignment split is 50-50. Hey, bargain shoppers, we have all types of clothing, home decor, toys, handles, handbags, jewelry, sports equipment, and more. McAlester Clothing Consignment, 405 East Chickasaw Avenue, Suite B, McAlester. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Sundays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Call 918-318-7986.
McAlester Softball and Volleyball is being sponsored by Consignment Exchange, and I've been doing commercials for them since I was 8 years old. Here's the connection. My great-grandfather and grandmother started the business over 50 years ago. Now my papa, Nana, and Aunt Cleora have continued. The idea was to give a place where folks could buy quality previously owned furniture, and now it's grown as a place where families who need to liquidate estates or simply have something they need to sell, Consignment Exchange is that place. At 9 years old, I came up with the tag of McAllister's favorite furniture store is Consignment, Highway 69 South, and it still is.
Welcome back to the MAC, and we're now under 2 minutes left on our pregame coverage as both teams are heading to both of their sides, and we're getting ready to get this thing started for senior night. Once again, just want to run through all the seniors here for the Buffaloes. We've got Kyra Kelly, Ellie Bass, Hannah Harrison, Jalen Moscato, Maddie Harvey, Elena Christie, Logan Bradish, Aubrey Polam, and Jalen Jewell. Now, we've already ran through all of those. They already had the senior night festivities to get things started, and that's why things have a little bit of a delayed start. Probably would have started closer to 7 or maybe 6, but JV was running a little bit behind, and then you had the senior night festivities. You want to make sure that everybody that participates in that gets their due, as that's something that they're going to remember forever. You only get one senior night per sport. So congrats to all those girls, and good luck on the start to the season, and hopefully a good season for them overall. Mentioned they finished over 500 last year, losing in the regional tournament to Duncan. They actually did win a set, but lost 3-1 in those sets. Won the first one 26-28, lost the next three 25-17, 25-19, and 25-18. And again, those were all to Duncan, and at the time they were ranked 11 in 5A. Now under 30 seconds, getting ready to get things started. We'll have starting lineups here for you momentarily for both sides. McAlester wearing their black on black jerseys and shorts with gold numbering and lettering. Some white trimming as well with their Buffalo signs, logos I should say, on their left shoulder. Wagoner wearing their white jerseys with red numbering and lettering, black trimming, red shorts as well. And here's the buzzer. So you should be getting started here very shortly. Once again, we are live stream only tonight and all season long on volleyball. That will not be any radio coverage games, but you'll be able to watch all of them right here on the McAlester Radio YouTube page. Myself, Chase McNutt, joining you live here from the MAC. And now I do think both teams are going to their sides. Again, this is my first time calling volleyball, so just kind of bear with me as we work out the kinks, but I think by season end, things are going to be working pretty well. So let's see if I can go ahead and find you some results for how Wagoner did this last year. Wagoner, normally a pretty good football program as well, obviously coached by Coach Condit over there, and just a pretty good athletic school. So for Wagoner, go ahead and drop on down to 3A. So Wagoner, this volleyball team last year, 2 games under 500. They are being coached by J.C. Stimson, as they have been for the last few years. They fell to Oklahoma Bible in the regional tournament in 5 sets, 3-2. So pretty interesting outcome for them to end their season. That was also on that October 5th date. All right, so Wagoner is sending out their side as we still await the Buffaloes. And you'll notice that one player on each side is wearing a different colored jersey. Same for Wagoner, wearing red, and for McAlester wearing gold. That is the libero position. And for those of you who don't know, libero is just, it's kind of a unique person on each side that can substitute for any spot on the floor, which is unique to just them compared to everybody else. And now all the Lady Buffaloes are holding a rose. I assume this has something to do with senior night as well. So we'll go ahead and pass it on over to PA as they announce for starting lineups and get ready for senior night.
McAlester Athletics is taking nominations for the McAlester Athletic Hall of Fame. Get nomination forms at the athletic webpage, www.mcallisterathletics.org. The Oklahoma Secondary School Athletic Association and the McAlester Public Schools promote good sportsmanship by its student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Spectators are asked to support tonight's game by refraining from derogatory comments or behavior. We ask you to support your competitors, the coaches, and the officials in a positive and sportsmanlike manner. Remember, whether you are on the field or in the stands, be a good sport. Fans, would you please stand? Gentlemen, remove your hats. The playing of our national
And now you guys are going to get our rendition of the national anthem.
will recognize a moment of silence so that you may reflect, meditate, pray, or engage in another silent activity. We ask that you be respectful to others around you during this moment of silence. Thank you. Now, honor America and brave women and men serving our country throughout the world, join us in the playing of our national anthem.
Good job there, Chase.
Now,
Wonderful, wonderful.
Now stay tuned for the starting lineups for both sides.
The Wagoner Bulldogs are coached by head coach Jason Stimson, assistant coach Randy Coppett, assistant coach Troy Arnold. Student managers are Kylie Austin, Savannah Shea, and Sheridan Johnston.
And now for the McAlester side. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is volleyball time in the Heartland. As it's 7:24, looks like we're going to have just a shy of 7:30 start here at the MAC for senior night. Lady Buffs looking to start the season out 1-0. As both teams will come to center net for handshakes. Buffalo's going to be on the right to start. Bulldogs on the left. Once again, your starting lineup for McAlester seniors: Jalen Moscato, Elena Christie, Ellie Bass. Looks like we've got Kylie Glover as well, Hannah Harrison, and Maddie Harvey and Logan Bradish. And Maddie Harvey will be the libero tonight. Now, for those of you that may not understand volleyball, this might be your first time watching, just tuning in to try and catch up. It's going to be a best of 5 sets, and it's the first to 25 each set. And you have to win by 2, so you can't win 25-24. If it's 24 all, you got to win 26-24 or 27-25. And if it goes all the way down to the final set, that one is only going to be 15 points for the winner. So that's just the very basics of what you'll need to know. We'll see where service starts as well. And if you see on the court, those white lines are the in and out lines here. Just again, trying to add some context, maybe for some new watchers. And at some point, we will get started. Glad you're joining us on this Thursday evening, August 15th. It's 7:26. I do think that we're officially about to get underway. And McAlester will be serving first, and that is going to be Ellie Bass on the serve. She's just out of the frame on the right side. You can kind of see her coming in. And we are underway. Serve is returned. Couple of hits. You got to get it over now if you're the Bulldogs. It's hit over, return. Ellie Bass lays it up. Going for the spike. Rolls around and falls for a point. Moscato with the point there for the Buffs as they now are up 1-0 here over Wagner. Another service from Bass. That's a good one. I think it might be out, though. It is. So Wagner ties it up here at 1-1 to get things started. So now it goes to service for Wagner. Here's their serve. It's returned by Bass. Moscato checked that. Hit over. Here's the return from the Bulldogs. Tapped over. Nice return by Bass. It's hit up now by Harvey. It's returned and blocked, but saved by the Buffaloes. I know it's going to be a point for the Bulldogs. Too many hits for McAlester on that side. That was almost a very nice save for the Lady Buffs. So now Wagner takes a 2-1 lead. Another service from them. Return, layup for Bass that time. Hit over by Bradish. Got to get it over for the Bulldogs. Tapped over, Bradish lays it up. Bass setting up someone for the kill, and it's just barely tapped, but a nice return by the Bulldogs. And it lands in bounds. Oh, no, out of bounds. They're going to say McAlester play. So now Moscato will go back to serve. It's 2-all here. Just service from Moscato. Almost an ace, and I think she's going to get it. The libero could not return it for the Bulldogs. So the first ace of this one goes to Moscato. And Buffalo's back on top, 3-2. Here's the serve from Moscato, right back to the libero. It's on their third hit now. Got to get it over. Blocked at the net. Got 2 more hits. Libero lays it up. It's returned by Glover. Hit overs. hit towards the middle. Bulldogs trying to get a good return here. Lays it up for the kill, and it's going to be hit out by the Buffs. So we're right back to 3-all here. Another service from the Bulldogs. Saved, hit up. Bradish with the hit over. Libero laying it up for the Bulldogs. Going for the kill. Bass returns it. Slate up for Harvey. The return. Man, just out on the backside. So a couple of good opportunities there. A really good striking. Just that's twice now that the Lady Buffs have just put a little too much on it. So now Bulldogs lead at 4-3 with service. Nice return on the back there. You got to get it over on this third hit. Bradish just turns and hits it over her head. Nice save. The Bulldogs have it now, setting it up for a kill. Nice save by Moscato. Bass lays it up. Moscato going for it and hits it just out on the right side. No, it stayed in. Point to the Buffaloes. Check that. That actually was Kyler Glover. So now Hannah Harrison returns to the back. Again, just out of the frame on the right side for her serve as it's all knotted up at 4. Here's the Buffalo serve. Saved by the libero for the Bulldogs. Set up and trying to go for the kill, but right into the net. Another point, Buffaloes. 5-4 now, Lady Buffs on top. Here's a serve from Harrison. Set up for not a kill, but a return for the Bulldogs. Ellie Bass will lay it up. Trying to get a kill, and that's going to fall over on the spike. Nice job by Glover. Almost was blocked by a Bulldog, but was able to drop it down on that side. So the first 2-score lead here as the Buffaloes are up 6-4. Here's service. Comes the Bulldog return. Tried to block it at the net. Buffalo somehow get it over. Bradish with a nice save on their final hit as well. Towards the backside of the McAlester side of the court, trying to save it as Moscato, but hit it a little bit too far. And that fell just under the net. So the Bulldogs respond finally to break what was a 3-0 run. And it's 6-5, Lady Buffs on top. Here's service now. And it's going to be too long. The Buffaloes go back up by 2. So 7-5 as Logan Bradish heads to the back for her first service. Nice hit, but a little too strong. Nice eye from the libero for the Bulldogs. As it's now 7-6. Kind of just gone back and forth so far. It's really been a tug of war. Bradish will sit down as Lexi Peacock has checked in. The libero in for the Buffaloes as well. Service is way too long, so Buffaloes go back on top by 2, 8-6. But now I do believe that it is Kylie Glover going back for her first serve. Trying to extend this lead. Here's the service on 8-6, too strong. Glover might have been a little bit farther back. That probably would have been a fantastic hit. A lot of steam on it, but fell just on the opposite side of that white line in the paint. So 8-7. Service from Wagner. Got hit incredibly hard, but fell into a spot where there was not a Buffalo super close to it. Peacock tried to get to it, but couldn't save it. So Wagner's come back and tied it up. Here's service from the Bulldogs now. Straight away. And almost eating her up a little bit. Nice save by the Buffaloes and hit over by Moscato. And it's going to be out of range for the Bulldogs. So McAlester goes back on top 9-8. It's been very much neck and neck so far to start this one out. And now for service, we've got Elena Christie. Nice serve. It's too strong, and that's an ace for Christie.
Service.
Her first ace, the second for the Buffaloes here this evening. 10-8 is the score. Christie with another service here. Libero with a nice save. Bulldogs laid up, just a kind of a tip over. Bass sets it up. The spike. Too strong. That's Bulldogs' point. And now Moscato will check out after her roundabout. And Maddie Harvey back in to the game. Again, she is the libero. She can sub out anybody on the floor. That is the one thing that is unique for the libero position. Service from the Bulldogs. Moscato's just going to have to hit it over. No setup for a spike that time. But that's what the Bulldogs are going to try to do. Go for a spike, and it's hit outside. Buffalo point there. It's 11-9 now. Logan Bradish will check back in. Looks like Jalen Moscato is the one who will sit down. And here's the service from Ellie Bass. Bulldogs are not going to be able to set up a spike here. Just going to have to get it over. Ellie Bass is going to set someone up, and it's actually Moscato who's not sat down. He's on the floor. It was blocked, and the Buffalo saved. Bradish will hit it back over. Bulldogs setting up for a kill here. And it's blocked at the net by Hannah Harrison. 12-9. Buffaloes go up by 3 to match their largest lead of the night. So service back to Ellie Bass. It is just saved from the out of bounds. Bulldogs just got to kind of hit it over, diving to get it, and hit from back out of bounds. It was saved, but too many hits for the Buffaloes. So Harvey hit it a little bit low. It was a good hit from the Bulldogs and almost went out of bounds. Ellie Bass tried to save it, but it was too far out. And by the time she got her hit back, there just was not a way to set it up. And you could not hit it more than 3 times on your side. If there's anybody that's confused about that, you get 3 chances to get it back over the net. So the third hit is when you've got to send it over. So now it's Bulldog service. Saved by Moscato, set up for Bass. Just going to have to be hit over that time by Glover. Bulldogs trying to set up a spike. Didn't come off the hand great, but it worked out as it's a 2-0 run now by Wagoner to get back into it. Every time McAlester kind of separates themselves, Wagoner is just right there to kind of return the favor. So here's the Bulldog service. Looks too strong, and it is. That'll roll out. Buffaloes go up by 2, 13-11 here.
Jalen Moscato, serving for McAlester.
Jalen Moscato on the floor, also joined by Maddie Harvey. Logan Bradish out there as well. Ellie Bass is joining her. Nice serve. It's going to end up being another ace for the Buffs. The second one for Moscato tonight. Buffaloes go back up by 3. This has kind of been where they've hit the wall, and it's swapped back over to Wagoner. We'll see if they can extend it here. Here's McAllister's service. Another ace. She's kind of found a sweet spot in that zone on the defensive side. And the Buffaloes have their largest lead of this first set, 15-11. Moscato will set this back up again for service. Going towards that same spot. Bulldogs do get some kind of a return, not a great one, and it's hit into the net. Making a 4-0 scoring run, 16-11. Reminder, this is a best of 5, so the first to win 3 here. Moscato once again on the service. It's a good one on the backside, just saved by a Bulldog. They're just going to have to tap it over, and they do. Bass is going to set it up on the return from Moscato, hits it well, and finds a spot where there's no ability to be returned. Making a 5-0 scoring run. Moscato is responsible for 3 of the 5. So 17-11 McAlester from right to left. Another service. Had to dive to get that return back. Bulldogs just do barely get it over, and a good spot on the hit. I believe that was Ellie Bass. It was. We've got a timeout being taken by Wagoner as the Buffs on a 6-0 scoring run. It's 18-11. We're going to take a 60-second break. We'll be right back. You're listening to Lady Buffs Volleyball on YouTube.
McAlester Softball and Volleyball is being sponsored by Consignment Exchange, and I've been doing commercials for them since I was 8 years old. Here's the connection. My great-grandfather and grandmother started the business over 50 years ago. Now my papa, Nana, and Aunt Cleora have continued. The idea was to give a place where folks could buy quality previously owned furniture, and now it's grown as a place where families who need to liquidate estates or simply have something they need to sell, Consignment Exchange is that place. At 9 years old, I came up with the tag of McAllister's favorite furniture store is Consignment, Highway 69 South, and it still is.
Welcome back from that timeout. Lady Buffs have it first up, 18-11. Service now from their side. Bulldogs get it back over. It's returned by Harvey. Bass will set it up for a spike, just kind of tipping it over that time is Glover. Bulldogs on their return. Nice setup once again by Harvey. Bass laying it up. Moscato's going to try and put some force on it and finds a spot in the back. Moscato's playing possessed so far. Another point for her. Moscato is responsible for 6 of the 19 points here for McAlester. That's almost as half. It's actually over half. And she just grabbed her 7th. That's an ace. Another one, her 4th. Buffalo's on an 8-0 scoring run, and now they're just 5 points away from grabbing the set 1 win. And the Bulldogs will sub. Moscato setting up once again for another serve. Towards the backside, a little strong, and that does end the scoring run. It was an 8-0 run by McAlester. It was 12-11, and now Wagoner finally gets one back as it's 20-12. Checking in now is Aubrey Polam, senior. She'll sit down Bradish. Also have Jalen Jewell coming in to sit down Hannah Harrison. So a couple of seniors checking in. You still have Moscato, Kylie Glover, Maddie Harvey as well, along with Ellie Bass. So service from Wagoner now. Looks a little strong, but Moscato saved it on that back line, and Bass just kind of hits it over. What a save almost by the Bulldogs, but hits the net. Man, that was almost a nice return. As someone who has not called volleyball, but has played it in a beach setting, it's a very, very entertaining sport. Hope you guys are enjoying what we're bringing you so far. Once again, this is a YouTube-only stream on the McAlester radio stream. So Aubrey Polam, who just checked in, will go back for her first service as the Buffs are up by 9. Nice serve, almost to the back of the line. Returned, by the Bulldogs. Polam gets the setup. Bass will throw it up now. Going to get the spike is Glover. Just kind of tips it over. Nice return by Wagoner. They'll just tip it over softly. They're going to say it was out of bounds. It is. So point McAlester. I assume she stepped on a line or something. I didn't quite see it, but 22-12. McAlester has just gone nuclear. It's a 10-1 scoring run since it was 12-11. Moscato, or check that is Poland at the serve. It's a bit too strong. And she'll check out for Maddie Harvey. It's a defensive situation sub, which is why that switch is the way that it is, if that makes sense. So 22-13, Buffs on top. Here's the Wagoner service. Moscato with the return. Bass with the setup. With the spike. Nice job by Elena Christie with the kill. She's already got an ace tonight. The Buffs now just 2 points away from a first set win. Service from McAlester. It's a little too strong, man. It was close, but over the line. So Wagoner gets it back. Down by 9 still. Checking in is Lexi Peacock. Again, just more defensive subs for McAlester here. 23-14 as service goes back to Wagoner. Nice return by McAlester. Moscato setting up for Glover. She'll just knock it over. Bulldogs trying to get a setup for a spike. Have to hit it a little long. Nice save that time by Harvey. Bass sent it up once again for the spike, and it's saved by the Buffs and just punched over the net. Nice job by the Buffaloes. And it's blocked at the net once again, but it falls away. Man, what a return there. That was quite the sequence. I believe Ellie Bass got a left fist on that, which allowed that to be returned by the Buffs instead of it being a point for Wagner, although they ended up getting the point anyways. So 23-15. Bulldogs on the service, and it's not a good one, and now it's game point. 24-15. So it goes to Kylie Glover now and the Buffaloes, trying to win the first set here. 24-15 is the score. Here's the serve. It's returned, but it's up and a bounce. So that's an ace. First ace for Glover, and McAlester wins the first set, 25-15. We'll go ahead and take a 60-second break. Buffs just 2 sets away now from getting the first game win. We'll be right back. You're listening to McAlester Volleyball on YouTube.
McAlester Softball and Volleyball is being sponsored by Consignment Exchange, and I've been doing commercials for them since I was 8 years old. Here's the connection. My great-grandfather and grandmother started the business over 50 years ago. Now my papa, Nana, and Aunt Cleora have continued. The idea was to give a place where folks could buy quality previously owned furniture, and now it's grown as a place where families who need to liquidate estates or simply have something they need to sell, Consignment Exchange is that place. At 9 years old, I came up with the tag of McAllister's favorite furniture store is Consignment, Highway 69 South, and it still is.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula. With 2 locations to choose from, we have close to 200 vehicles on the ground and coming in. And with vehicles starting at $29.95, we have something for everyone. And if you need parts or service, we are loading up at both locations to serve you better. Plus, with our mobile service van and our pickup and delivery, we can help you with sales and service no matter where you are. So come see us at Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula and let us make it happen for you.
Welcome back as we're getting set for the second set as McAlester won the first one 25-15, and it's really hard to point at anybody else, but Jalen Moscato had 4 aces and accounted for over 8 of their points out of their 25. The Buffaloes won by 10, 25-15 in set 1. Now just 2 set wins away from grabbing the game 1 win. We are being sponsored by Consignment Exchange, Freedom Ford, and McAlester Clothing Consignment. Glad you're joining us on this Thursday. It's been a good one so far. Volleyball, that first game was pretty exciting. A lot of back and forth, but Jalen Moscato really took over the show. It was a senior-led show as well for what is a senior-led group for McAlester Volleyball. We're about to get set with Wagner getting the first serve. They're just out of the frame on the left side. For McAlester, it looks like they've got Jalen Moscato out there along with Maddie Harvey. Also have Kylie Glover along with Jalen Jewell and Ellie Bass. And also Hannah Harrison. So that is the 6 for your Lady Buffs as Wagner will get things started in the second set. And we are underway. Service returned, set up by Harvey. Bass will set it up for a spike. Harrison just hits it over, and it's not going to be able to be returned. Nice hit by Harrison over the net as the Buffaloes take their first lead. So Ellie Bass will go for McAllister's first serve of the second set. Here's service. It's an ace. So for Ellie Bass, her first ace of the day. She'll get another opportunity for one. Her service, not quite as hard. Set up by the Bulldogs, just tipped over. Moscato will lay it up. Bass will try to set it up for Moscato. And it's returned, but it looks like it might be out of bounds, but it is returned. Bulldogs were able to get to it. They get it over. Set up by Harvey. Bass with the setup for Harrison, hits it over. Nice save by the Bulldogs. Digging it out that time is Ellie Bass. Moscato going for the kill, and it's blocked by Wagner, and the Buffaloes are not able to return it. So a nice little back and forth there goes Wagner's way. So it's 2-1. Here's service from the Wagner side. Trailing it by 1 point. Having to dig that out is Moscato. Bass gets it, hits it over by Jewell, who gets it over the net. Wagner can't return it. So Jalen Jewell is tallied with the point there. Her first. So it goes back to Moscato, who had multiple aces in a row in that first set. Here's her first service. Wagner trying to return it, gets it over. Harvey digs it. Bass setting it up. Nice save by Wagner on the spike attempt that time from Kylie Glover, which results in a Bulldog point. So 3-2, it goes back to the Bulldogs. Again, a non-district matchup. McAlester 5A taking on 3A Wagner here. Here's the Bulldog service. Not hit incredibly hard, but it goes just over the line. So McAlester gets the point. It's 4-2. That was very, very close. If it hits the line, it does count as being in, but it was just over. So Hannah Harrison back to serve with a 2-score lead, 4-2. Her serve is a pretty deep one. Trying to set up for a return for the Bulldogs, and it's hit out of bounds. That was a one-hand kind of a punch return, just a little bit too much juice on it. So McAlester extends their lead. It's 5-2. Harrison with the serve once again. Bulldogs get a hit, trying to get a set up on a spike. Nice save on the backhand side by Bass. It's set up by Harrison, and it's hit over that time by Elena Christie. Bulldogs trying to get it on their side. Do barely get it over the net, and Christie just hits it over for another point. So Buffalo's on another scoring run here. It's 6-2. Harrison with another service. Having to dig that out is a Bulldog. They'll hit it over. Saved by Moscato. Set up by Christie. Hit over by Glover. Having to dig that out, and it goes out of bounds, hits the ground. That's a Buffalo point. Nice location that time by Glover to find the far side. Bulldog laid out, tried to dig it out, but not a very good return off the hit. So now it goes right back to Harrison. It's her third serve. It's a good one. And just an awkward return that time by Jewell. Tried to hit it off of her fist, and it kind of just rolled off her fingers. No chance for another hit after that. So the Bulldogs do stop the bleeding, get a point back. It's 7-3. Service on the Wagner side. Trying to crawl back into it. Looks low, but it's a good one. Nice return by Glover. Bass will set it up. It's hit over by Jewell. It goes out of bounds. So 2 straight points for the Bulldogs. Once again, it's Wagner's service now, down by 3. Another good serve hit by Glover. Moscato digs it out of the back, and it's going to have to be hit over by Harvey. The Bulldogs are setting it up for a spike. It's blocked at the net, but it got caught up on a Buffalo in the chest of Jewell. Can't have a ball really make connection with your chest like that unless it's just straight hitting off of it. But kind of rolled on it. So now it's 3 straight points. And I'll take that, 2 straight points for the Bulldogs. Another good serve. Moscato gets some nice air on it. Bass will set it up for Glover to hit it over. It's tipped off and a Bulldog gets it. They got to hit it over now on their third hit. Glover will set it up. Bass will set it up for her to spike it, and it's blocked at the net. Nice job by the Bulldogs. Or they're going to say it hit the net. I think a Bulldog hit the net there on the block. So point McAlester. That is what they're discussing. So point McAlester. Oh no, point Wagner. Okay. So I think that he was trying to say that a Bulldog jumped into the net, and you cannot make contact with the net with your body. But the far side official says no. That's Bulldog point. So now it's 3 straight points to make it 7-6. Here's Bulldog service once again. Stuck out that time by Harvey. Bass will set it up. Moscato will hit it over, and that's going to be another point. Moscato coming up big when they need it. She was the big player for game 1. She gets the Buffaloes back to a 2-score lead here. So it's 8-6. Jalen Jewell is setting up to serve. Here's service for McAlester. Setting up on the Bulldog side, going for a spike. It's blocked at the net, but the way that it blocked off the hand rolled off awkwardly to a spot where there was no Buffalo. So that's a Bulldog point. So it's been all Wagner here the last 5 points. Or 4 of the last 5, and Lexi Peacock, checks in. So Wagner service down by 1, trying to tie it up. It was neck and neck until about 12-11 the last game. So good serve set up by Bass. Don't really know who's going to hit it over, but Harvey does towards the backside. Bulldogs have to dig it out from deep. A long hit over. Stuck out that time by Peacock. Set up by Bass and just tipped over by Christie. They're going to say she reached over the net. Yeah, I think she reached over the net. So, point Wagner. So it's all knotted up. McAlester was up 7-3, and now it's been all Wagner recently. 8-8. Here's Bulldog service. Dug out by Harvey. Bass will set up for a kill. Moscato will hit it over. Trying to dig it out for the Bulldogs. She's in a tough spot to save it. Man, nice return. They do get it over. Harvey with the hit. Bass with the setup again, and it's blocked at the net. Harvey can't get it over. Wagner point. They'll take a lead. It's a 6-1 run right now by the Bulldogs as they lead at 9-8. So Wagner service here. Doesn't get over the net. Buffalo's knotted up just like that. One thing you'll find a lot in volleyball is that a lot of the times scoring for both sides can be self-inflicted. You see it with situations where the ball's not hit over the net, especially on a serve like you just saw. But now it goes to Glover with her serve. Knotted up at 9. It's a good serve. Saved from the back just barely. Bulldogs have it blocked at the net. Looks like Elena Christie rising up. Buffalo's back on top now after spending just about 5 minutes not leading. They did trail it for a short period. But back on top. Here's Glover with her service. Nice serve. Not able to be returned. Buffaloes go back on top by 2. It's 11-9 now. This is around the same time that the Buffaloes pulled away in game number 1. Or set number 1, I beg your pardon. So once again, here's Glover with the serve. It's a good one, but too strong. Had a lot of power on top of it. We've seen that a couple times, not just from her, but from a couple of Buffaloes. Have a lot of steam on those serves, just a little bit too strong. But if you get something that hard in the white line, it's going to be pretty hard to be returned. Coach Burns coming out to wipe up some perspiration off the floor, maybe a wet spot. So play will resume. It's a 1-point lead, 11-10. McAlester already leading 1-0 in this best of 5. Service from Wagner looks strong, and it is. Just across the outside white line. Buffs go back on top by 2. That'll lead to Atlanta Christie going to the back for her first service of set number 2. And here's service from McAlester. It's a good one. The return is hit almost into the bleachers. So that's an ace. That is her second ace, first of this second set. Sub on the Wagner side. Here's Christie on the serve. It's a good one. It's pretty far back. Wagner's just going to have to hit it over Safra. Ellie Bass will hit the return up for the serve. Moscato just lightly taps it. Nice return by the Bulldogs. They'll knock it over. Softly trying to dig it out of the ground. Not able to that time is Lexi Peacock. So Bulldogs get a point back. We've got a couple subs. Hannah Harrison is back out now for McAlester. Now here's Wagner service down 2. Nice hit up for Moscato from the side. I think this is their last hit there, so didn't matter if that had gone over. So Wagoner gets a point back once again. It's 13-12. McAlester has separated themselves a couple of times just for Wagoner to kind of crawl back into it. Very reminiscent of how game one went. Here's Wagner's service. Nice hit by Harvey from the backside. Bass will set it up. Christie with the hit. Man, nice save by the Bulldogs. They get it back over. Glover sets it up. Bass with the lob. Moscato, check that. That is Moscato. Hits it to the backside. Bulldogs have a chance to get it back over. Digging it out is Glover. Bass with the setup. Moscato with the hit. Nice return by Wagoner, but it's going to hit the net, so that's a point via Moscato into Buffaloes. $14-12 now is the score, and it goes back to McAlester. Ellie Bass is back to serve here. And it's just across the wide line, so that is a Wagoner point. It'll go right back to the Bulldogs. 14-13 is your score. McAlester leads it by one set. From left to right here, here's Wagoner. Pretty good serve, dug out by Glover. Bass with the setup. Bradish trying to get it over, just came off the hand wrong. Looked like a little bit of miscommunication. So it's knotted up once again. It's all tied at 14. Now again, it was 13-12 in game one, and that was when McAlester went on a huge run. There's an ace for the Bulldogs. Again, some miscommunication between Harvey and looked like Ellie Bass on that back row. So now Buffalo's back against it, trailing by one. Here's the Bulldogs serve. Dug out by Glover. Bass will just hit it up, just going to have to knock it over. And Harvey does. Bulldogs setting up for a spike, and it's blocked. Nice job by Harrison. Bulldogs with the return. They'll knock it over just barely. Harrison with the setup. Bass gets it over back to her. Harrison hits it over. Bulldogs safe. And the return, kind of a fist hit. Glover knocks it up for Bass, who will set it up for Moscato with a spike and the kill. Another one for her. She's in fuego tonight from set one to now. She's been a force to be reckoned with out on the hardwood as the Buffaloes tie it back up at 15. And Moscato now goes back for service. Still out on the backside by the Bulldogs. In an awkward spot, but it is saved and knocked over. Bass will hit it up. Harvey for the setup for Glover. She'll knock it over. It's tipped and saved out of the bottom. Bulldogs try to knock it over, but couldn't get it off of her hand. That just looked kind of awkward. Buffaloes go back on top, 16-15. So Moscato will go back for another serve. Buffs on top, 16-15 here. Here's service from McAlester, and another ace for Moscato. Her fifth of the night. So 17-15. McAlester 8 points away from a set two win as well. Here's service from the McAlester side. It's knocked out from the backside. Saved from the out-of-bounds side. The Bulldogs just have to knock it over, and man, very good spot. Just got it away from the outstretched hands of Maddie Harvey. So it's a one-point game once again. Wagoner hanging around in this one. So here's Wagner's service. Down by one. Dug out by Glover. Bass hits it up from Moscato. She'll try and spike it from kind of the middle side. Dug out by a Bulldog. Knocked over. Moscato digs it out. Bass with the setup for Bradish. She'll hit it to the back left corner. Not a great hit up on the return. The Bulldogs got to get it over from halfway back, and they do. Harvey knocks it up. Bass with the setup for Glover. Glover with the spike. It's blocked at the net, and it's returned by Harrison. But, man, the Bulldogs with a good save. They'll knock it over. This volley's gone very much back and forth. Another setup by Harvey to Glover. She'll knock it over with two hands. Rolls along, and it's saved by the Bulldogs. Man, what a back and forth. At the net, it's knocked out on the McAlester side for a Bulldog point. Man, what a back and forth that was. Nice little volley that time. So it's knotted up at 17. Wagner serve here. Here's the service. Towards the backside, Harvey gets it. Eli Bass will set it up, or Ellie Bass check that. It's hit over by McAlester, and the Bulldogs can't return it. 18-17. Buffaloes retake the lead as Elena Christie will check in. She'll sit down Hannah Harrison. So now for service, we've got Maddie Harvey from the backside. Nice serve, dug out by the libero. At the net, knocked off by Christie, but returned by the Bulldogs. Bulldogs have to knock it over now. It's their third hit. They get it over. Good hit by the Bulldogs that time. Harvey laid out for it. She couldn't quite get to it. So now it's all knotted up at 18. So once again, it's Wagner service from the left side. Serve does not get over the net. So McAllister's back on top, and it goes to Logan Bradish. So senior with the serve here, trying to push him over 20. Buffs up by one here on the service by Bradish. Nice hit. A little strong. So 19 all. This has been a very back and forth game. No team really giving up any ground. $19 the score. Wagner with the serve, trying to avoid going down 2-0. Here's service from them. Looks strong, and it is. Buffaloes go back on top, 20-19. So now for the serve, we've got Kylie Glover. Buffalo's 5 points away from a set 2 win. Here's her service. Not able to be returned, I don't think. If they get this over, oh no, the Bulldogs ran into the flagger on the backside, but I don't think that could have been returned anyways. And that's a point for McAlester. A great serve by Glover, and now it's a 2-score lead, 21-19. Glover with service once again. It's a good one. It's not able to be dug out. It's another ace. For Glover, that's her first ace. 22-19 is the score. Service from Glover once again. It's a good one. It's dug out from the backside. The Bulldogs have to get it over from the halfway mark, and they're not able to. 23-19. Buffs just 2 points away now. We've got a timeout. We'll take it with them. Just a 30-second timeout. We'll be right back. Lady Buffs lead it over Wagner, 23-19. You're listening live on the McAlester Radio YouTube page.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula. With 2 locations to choose from, we have close to 200 vehicles on the ground and coming in. And with vehicles starting at $29.95, we have something for everyone. And if you need parts or service, we are loading up at both locations to serve you better. Plus, with our mobile service van and our pickup and delivery, we can help you with sales and service no matter where you are. So come see us at Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula and let us make it happen for you.
Welcome back to the MAC after that 30-second break. Buffs are 2 points away from going up 2-0. Kylie Glover with the serve, and it's too strong. So it goes back to Wagner now. Down by 3, 23-20. Here comes the Bulldog service from their libero. Hit is a little strong, but not too far. Almost saved and not able to be by Moscata. Too many hits. Couldn't get it over on the third one, and it fell short. So Wagner, after the timeout, fires back with 2 quick points. Service from Wagoner once again. Dug out by Glover. Bass with the setup. Moscato trying to spike it down. Nice save by the Bulldogs, and a spike back that time by Ellie Bass for the kill to make it 24-21. And now it's game point for the Buffs, trying to go up 2-0. Senior Elena Christie on the backside with her service. Here it is. Knocked to the backside. The Bulldogs have one hit to get it over here. Man, and they do. Good return. Ellie Bass has it at the net. Set up for Harrison. Backside. Libero knocks it up for the Bulldogs. They get it back over the net. Nice save. Bass will set it up now for Moscato. She'll go for the kill. Not a lot of strength on it, but the Bulldogs save it. They've got one more hit to get it over. They do. Harrison with the knockup. Bass with the setup now. Moscato rises up, and it's blocked. No! It's Buffalo's point, and they win the second set, 25-21. So Jalen Moscato there, the beneficiary to help McAlester go up 2-0. We're going to go ahead and take a 60-second break. McAlester just one set away from the Game 1 win. You're listening live on the McAlester Radio YouTube page.
McAlester Clothing Consignment accepts consignments on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. All items must be gently used and in good shape. Please label all bags, boxes, or totes with the consignor's name. The limit on bags is 2 13-gallon bags per consignor per week. The consignment split is 50-50. Hey, bargain shoppers, we have all types of clothing, home decor, toys, handles, handbags, jewelry, sports equipment, and more. McAlester Clothing Consignment, 405 East Chickasaw Avenue, Suite B, McAlester. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sundays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Call 918-318-7986.
McAlester Softball and Volleyball is being sponsored by Consignment Exchange, and I've been doing commercials for them since I was 8 years old. Here's the connection. My great-grandfather and grandmother started the business over 50 years ago. Now my papa, Nana, and Aunt Cleora have continued. The idea was to give a place where folks could buy quality previously owned furniture, and now it's grown as a place where families who need to liquidate estates or simply have something they need to sell, Consignment Exchange is that place. At 9 years old, I came up with the tag of McAllister's favorite furniture store is Consignment, Highway 69 South, and it's still.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula. With 2 locations to choose from, we have close to 200 vehicles on the ground and coming in. And with vehicles starting at $29.95, we have something for everyone. And if you need parts or service, we are loading up at both locations to serve you better. Plus, with our mobile service van and our pickup and delivery, we can help you with sales and service no matter where you are. So come see us at Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula and let us make it happen for you.
Welcome back to the MAC as we are prepared for set 3 here for senior night for the season opener for the Lady Buffs for volleyball. They won the first 2 sets over Wagoner, so now just 1 set away for the 3-0 sweep. Again, it is a best of 5. For McAlester, they won set 1 25-15 and set 2 25-21. So the second one a bit more dramatic, but nonetheless, McAlester coming out on top. This is a team that McAlester saw twice last year, beat them once, and lost to them a different time. So, albeit not an opponent that's in your class, somebody you are definitely familiar with. For the Buffs on the floor to get the start here, we've got Elena Christie, Jalen Moscato, Eli Bass, Kylie Glover, Hannah Harrison, Logan Bradish, and it looks like Maddie Harvey as well are the 6 for your Lady Buffs. And we are underway. Ellie Bass will get the first serve to get us underway. Going for the 3-0 sweep here. We've got a leadoff ace for Ellie Bass. So for Bass, that's another ace for her. Her second now in 3 sets. So she'll get another service here, up 1-0 after that ace. Return from the backside, and it's going to hit the net. The return was just a little too strong by the Bulldogs. And they're very quickly in a 2-0 hole, but as we've seen, things can turn very quickly in volleyball. Bass with the service, but right into the net. So the Bulldogs get a point back, and it goes service to them. As I mentioned, things can change quickly as they have. All right, service from Wagner now, down by 1. Here's the serve. Saved by Harvey. Bass at the net, and it's knocked over by a Bulldog. The return was just a little bit strong, that instead of falling short of the net for a setup, it went a little long, and that allowed the Bulldogs to just rise up and spike it down. Ellie Bass really did not have an opportunity or a chance on the return there. So the Bulldogs, just like that, have scored 2 straight of their own, and we're all even. Here's service. Glover digs it out. Bass will set it up. Moscato just tips it over. Bradish knocks it off of her hand, but it rolls awkwardly to the backside where there was no Lady Buff. So now it's 3 straight for Wagner. So service now for the Bulldogs. Up by 1. Harvey hits it up. Bass near the net, sets it up for Bradish. He'll knock it over too strong. So 4 straight for Wagner now. As you can see on the screen, the Wagner faithful on the other side. Looks like some family members, also some of the JV and 9th grade squads as well. Here's service on the Wagner side. Bass with the knock-up. Harvey with the setup, but it goes out of bounds. So 5 straight points for Wagner now. Their largest lead of any set so far. It's 5-2. So they'll get service once again. Nursing a 3-point lead. And long service. It's going to go out of bounds, so the Buffaloes get a point back. It's 3-5 now. And it goes back to Jalen Moscato. Perfect time for Moscato to come up when you need some points. Again, she leads with aces tonight. She's got 5 total. Almost had another one, and it's not going to be returned. So Moscato leading towards a point here. Not an ace, but pretty close. So Moscato gets another point. Buffalo's right back in it, down by 1 after scoring 2 straight. Moscato with the service. It's another ace for Moscato. Man, she just kind of has that spot figured out. She has a spot that she's living in, and it's paid off dividends for the Buffaloes if they have knotted, as they have knotted it back up at 5 apiece. Moscato with another serve. Try to go for that same spot. Bulldogs get it up, and they do get it over. Moscato with the setup. Bass has it. She'll top it up to Harrison, who knocks it too long. So Bulldogs back on top. Break the 3-0 scoring run that the Buffaloes had going. 6-5 now is the score. Service, saved by Harvey. Bass with the setup. And it's a nice knock by Kylie Glover for a kill on the backside. Elena Christie will check in. She'll sit down Hannah Harrison. So now it's back to service for the Buffs with Maddie Harvey. It's all knotted up at 6. Good serve. Having to dig that out to save it. Now the Bulldogs have one hit to get it over. It goes over the height of the scoreboard, but Bass has it now. She'll set it up for Christie to just knock it over. Bulldogs have it on their side. They're setting up for a kill. Nice job by the Bulldogs. 6-7 is the score now. Wagner's on top. Seven, 6. Bulldogs serve now. Here it goes. Not a very strong one. Moscato digs it out. Bass will set it up to knock over for Glover. Just tips it, but a nice return from the Bulldogs. Harvey knocks it up. Bass with the setup. Christie with the spike, and it finds a spot on the back end. It's back and forth right here. Very much teeter-tottering around. 7-all as Logan Bradish steps back to the paint for her serve, just right outside the frame on the right side. You'll see her here in a second. Here's her service. It's a good one. It's not able to be returned. Goes off the back wall. 8-7 Buffaloes. Lady Buffs just one set win away from an opening night sweep. Also a senior night as well to start the season. Bradish with another serve. It's a good spot in the back. Bulldogs trying to get a return here. Knocked over. Right to Harvey. Over to Bass in front of the net. She'll set it up for Moscato with some strength, but it's blocked by a Bulldog. Nice return. So it's 8-all. We've got a sub as Bradish will sit down for Lexi Peacock on the McAlester side. Wagner with the sub as well, but I don't have a roster for them, so I beg your pardon on that side. The 8-8 serve from Wagner. Hit up by Moscato. Laid up by Bass, and Peacock will just have to knock it over. The Bulldogs set it up, going for the spike, and it's blocked. So the Bulldogs have a chance to return it again. We'll see if they go for another spike. They do, and it finds the back end. Wagner back on top. It's 9-8. So Wagner service here. Up by 1. Ever since that first set, things have been much more competitive after McAlester pulled away and won that first set by 10. Ellie Bass knocks it over. The Bulldogs in a tough spot towards the back end of their side of the floor. They do get it over. Knocked up by Peacock. Bass with the setup to Christie, who knocks it to an open spot, but returned by the Bulldogs, setting up for a spike. And it's knocked towards the backside off of the Buffalo, so that's another Wagner point. So 10-8 now. Wagner on top. They did have a 3-point lead, which is their largest of any set so far. Now they're back up by 2. Here's service. Harvey saves it. It's a long one. Bass will set it up for Moscato. She'll hit it towards the backside. Bulldogs with a knock up, a set. Knock it over. Harvey digs it out over to Bass in front of the net. She'll set it up to Christie with the spike in the open spot on the left side. Buffaloes get a point back. 10-9 is the score. We've got a sub over on the Bulldog side. Going back to serve now is Kylie Glover. Glover had an ace during the last set. We'll see if she can bring some of that back. Glover with the serve. It's a good one. That return is going to hit over near the sideline. So another ace for Glover. Her second here in the last 2 sets. And it's 10 apiece. Here's service from Glover. Little strong. 10-11 now. So the Buffaloes give a point back. 11-10 now as Wagner will serve back once again. Some perspiration on the floor once again. Nice job from Coach Burns to run out there and clean up the floor. So now we've got Wagner service. Up by 1. And just barely digging that out is Glover from the backside. Peacock knocks it up, and Christie knocks it over. Bulldogs get a chance to return it, going for a spike here. It's blocked at the net, and it's kicked up by a Buffalo, which is not legal. I applaud the effort, yes. So 10-12, Wagner gets it back. Maybe you can fly with that on the beach or in some sand volleyball, but I do admire the effort there. But 10-12 now, Wagner gets it back. Their serve too strong. Nice job from Harvey. The wherewithal to know that was going out of bounds, just ducked out of the way. So 11-12, Elena Christie will go to the backside. for her service, trying to tie things up or possibly give the Buffaloes the lead. Good serve, that's an ace. The third for Elena Christie. She's had one in each set now. So it's all knotted up at 12. We'll see if the Buffs can retake the lead. Service from her, man, too strong. Again, it's just been back and forth, back and forth. Wagner hanging around here. Christie will sit down now for Harvey. And it's Maddie Harvey checking in. So Armstrong with the serve for Wagner. A little strong, and it's an awkward spot as Peacock not able to return it. So Wagner back on top by 2. And it's 14-12. So Bulldogs, this is the longest or the deepest into a set that they've led so far at 14-12. Service from them. Nice knock up by Glover. Over to Moscato, who knocks it over. Dug out by a Bulldog. They'll knock it over softly to an open spot. So back up by 3. Wagner team looking a little bit different in the third set here. Trying to avoid the 3-0 sweep. McAlester trying to close the door here, though, and not let this extend any longer. Here's service. Glover with the setup. Bass will knock it over to Moscato. It's an awkward position. Couldn't get it over with her right hand. And now McAlster's largest deficit of the evening as they trail 12-16. Wagner service here on the left side. Trying to extend their 4-point lead. Glover with the setup over to Bass, who saves it from the sideline. Glover knocks it over. On the Bulldog side, man, coming off the wrist awkwardly. They're going to say she grabbed it. So McAlester point, they'll get it back, 16-13. Logan Bradish will check in. She'll sit down, Lexi Peacock. So service now for Ellie Bass from the backside. Good serve to the back left. Bulldogs are setting it up for a spike. Nice save from Bass on the backside. Bradish and Glover had a miscommunication. Neither one went for it. And Coach Burns is going to take a timeout. We're going to take it with him. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to McAlester High School Volleyball as they trail Wagner 13-7 in the third set. We'll be right back.
McAlester Clothing Consignment accepts consignments on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. All items must be gently used and in good shape. Please label all bags, boxes, or totes with the consignor's name. The limit on bags is 2 13-gallon bags per consignor per week. The consignment split is 50-50. Hey, bargain shoppers, we have all types of clothing, home decor, toys, hand tools, handbags, jewelry, sports equipment, and more. McAlester Clothing Consignment, 405 East Chickasaw Avenue, Suite B, McAlester. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sundays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Call 918-318-7986.
Welcome back to the MAC out of that timeout as the Buffaloes trail it 13-17. Their largest deficit of the evening and the deepest into the game out of any sets that Wagner has left. So now we've got Logan Bradish, Hannah Harrison, Jayla Moscato, Ellie Bass, Kylie Glover, and Maddie Harvey on the floor for the Buffaloes. Service from Wagner, and it's out of bounds. Nice job from Harvey to watch it roll out. So Buffaloes get a point back, and Moscato coming over to serve. This is a perfect time to try and either tie this up or retake the lead. Moscato with the most aces out of anybody on either side tonight. Here's her service. Nice setup by the Bulldogs. They'll just have to knock it over awkwardly, and it hits the front of the net. So point back there, 15-17. So McAlester gets a point back. Down by 2 points. Service from Moscato. It's a little deep, a little bit awkward for the Bulldogs. They have to just knock it over to the backside. Harvey knocks it over to Bass, who'll set it up for Harrison, and it's met at the net, but she knocks it over. Harrison with the strength, and it's a 1-point game. So Moscato now with a chance to tie it up. An ace would be it's a perfect time for it. 17-16. A deep serve, and it's going to be, no, not an ace. It's saved from the out-of-bounds side. Nice job from the Bulldogs. Harvey over to Bass. Will set it up now for Glover with a soft toss. Knocks it over, but nice save from the Bulldogs. And awkwardly off the hands of Ellie Bass, the Bulldogs get a point back. So within striking distance, but not quite able to put themselves over that hump here in set number 3. The Bulldogs have done a very good job here as they lead by 2. Service from Wagner. Harvey with the setup. Over to Bass. She'll knock it over too low to Glover. That hit off Glover's wrist. As Wagner trails at 16, or leads at 16-19, McAlester trails it by 3 here. So Bulldogs serve once again. Glover with the return. Bass with the setup. Piscotto will knock it over, and it's not going to be able to be saved. Piscotto with another point, and it is a 2-point game. So Maddie Harvey with the serve here, trying to get McAlester back into it, down by 2. Here's service from McAlester. It's a long one. It's saved though. Set up, return. Harvey over to Bass at the net with the setup for Bradish. She just knocks it over. And Libero sets it up for the Bulldogs from the out-of-bounds side, trying to spike it. And it stays in bounds. It hit the line. It was very close. So 17-20. Wagner now has hit 20 2 times in a row after McAlester beat them by 10, 25-15 in the first set. Trying to avoid the sweep here. Here's service. Harvey digs it out from the back. Bass with the setup. A little too strong from Elena Christie. 4-point deficit now for the Buffs. But things can change on a dime in high school volleyball. And Coach Burns coming out for some more perspiration on the floor. Just a wet spot. So for Wagner, it's, again, tying their largest lead of the game at 4 points. And this is the first time they've led over the score of 20. They have trailed every single time they've gotten over 20, and this is, previously to this, I will say, 1 out of the first 2 sets, they reached it. So this is a good get back from Wagner. We'll see, though, if they can hold on and score the final 4 before McAlester can return 8 to win it. 17-21 on the Wagner service. Dug out by Moscato. Bass with the setup over to Glover, and it's blocked back. Moscato has it over to Glover, and Bass just knocks it over. The Bulldogs have it on their side, trying to set up for a spike. Can't really, though. It hits the net, saved by Bass. Harvey hits it up, and Moscato will knock it over. Dug out by a Bulldog, and it goes over the net, saved by Bass. Bulldogs have it once again. A pretty good volley here. A setup for a spike. The Bulldogs have it. It's blocked at the net. Nice job by Christie. Another serve, and it's blocked again by Christie. Buffaloes get another point back. It's 21-18. Christie with back-to-back blocks. The hero there that time around might be the spark plug that McAlester needed to try and get back into it. Down by 3. Service now from Bradish. On the backside, it's knocked out of bounds, and the Bulldogs can't return it. That is an ace, and we've got a timeout. We'll take it with them. Buffaloes on a 2-0 scoring run, down by 2 here in the third set. We'll be right back. You're listening to McAlester Volleyball on our McAlester Radio YouTube page.
McAlester Softball and Volleyball is being sponsored by Consignment Exchange, and I've been doing commercials for them since I was 8 years old. Here's the connection. My great-grandfather and grandmother started the business over 50 years ago. Now my papa, Nana, and Aunt Cleora have continued. The idea was to give a place where folks could buy quality previously owned furniture, and now it's grown as a place where families who need to liquidate estates or simply have something they need to sell, Consignment Exchange is that place. At 9 years old, I came up with the tag of McAllister's favorite furniture store is Consignment, Highway 69 South, and it still is.
Welcome back to the MAC. Buffaloes in the midst of a comeback here, down 21-19 in the third set. Logan Bradish with the service. Wagner's done a good job in this third set, led most of the time, and they get a point. So after 2 straight points, to make it just a 2-point game. Wagoner gets a point back, and Bradish will check out for Lexi Peacock. So Wagoner has it up by 3. Just need 3 more points to get a set back here. Here's the Wagoner service. It's dug out by Peacock. Bass at the net, knocks it over. Wagoner has it. They've got to hit it over, and it's out of bounds. On the far side, so McAlester gets a point back. So now it's over to Kylie Glover for service. Buffalo's down by 2. Here's Glover. Knocks it over. The Bulldogs have it. A chance to return it. Nice save by Harvey. Bass has it for the setup over to Moscato. She'll just have to knock it over into the middle. Bulldogs dig it out. They've got to knock it over here on the third hit. It's knocked over. Glover with the return. Bass with the knockover. Man! But a nice save by the Bulldogs. Bass with a surprising knockover there. She'll set it up for Christie with one hand, who knocks it over. Knocked up by the Bulldogs. They'll try and spike it. Hits the antenna, and that's got to be a McAlester point. It is. So with that hitting an antenna, which I don't know if you can see it on the broadcast, but there's 2 antennas on both sides of the net, and that's what it hit. So 21-22. McAlester has a chance to tie it up here. Glover with the serve. Dug out from the backside. On their third hit from a very bad spot, Wagner's got to save it, and they do. Man, nice save. Bass sets it up for Moscato. She'll knock it over. A dig out. Saved, knocked in by Christie, and the Buffaloes tie it up. McAlester coming back from 4 down. It was 21-17, and now it's 22-all as the Buffaloes are looking for the sweep. Another timeout. We'll take it with them. We'll be back in 30 seconds as it's all even in McAlester. You're listening to McAlester Volleyball on McAllister's YouTube page.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula. With 2 locations to choose from, we have close to 200 vehicles on the ground and coming in. And with vehicles starting at $29.95, we have something for everyone. And if you need parts or service, we are loading up at both locations to serve you better. Plus, with our mobile service van and our pickup and delivery, we can help you with sales and service no matter where you are. So come see us at Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula and let us make it happen for you.
Welcome back to the MAC out of that quick timeout service from Kylie Glover here as the Buffaloes have tied it up at 22-all. Returned by the Bulldogs over to Bass at the net. She'll set it up for Christie, who'll knock it over, but they're going to say she reached over the net. She does not agree with it, but they're going to say she reached over the net, I think. Yep. So Wagoner gets a point back there on a technicality. Buffaloes, though, seemingly with all the momentum right here. This is a barn burner. 22-23, Wagoner with the serve up by 1. Harvey digs it out of the back. Bass will set it up for Moscato. She'll just have to knock it over. Bulldogs have it. They're going to try to set up for a spike here. They get it over, but it's blocked. Ellie Bass with the block to tie it up at 23. No. They're going to say she reached over the net. Man, oh man, that is twice in a row that they have been called for reaching over the net. Much to the chagrin of the McAlester side. And so now what could have been 23-all is now game point for Wagoner. 24-22. Here's the service, and Wagoner wins the 7. Nice job from Wagoner there to come back after being down the first 2 sets. And for McAlester, they made that a game late. And because of some technicalities, the Bulldogs are able to grab that win. And we're going to play another set. We're going to take a 60-second break. We'll be right back. You're listening to McAlester High School Volleyball on the McAlester Radio YouTube page.
McAlester Clothing Consignment accepts consignments on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. All items must be gently used and in good shape. Please label all bags, boxes, or totes with the consignor's name. The limit on bags is 2 13-gallon bags per consignor per week. The consignment split is 50-50. Hey, bargain shoppers, we have all types of clothing, home decor, toys, hand tools, handbags, jewelry, sports equipment, and more. McAlester Clothing Consignment, 405 East Chickasaw Avenue, Suite B, McAlester. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sundays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Call 918-318-7986.
McAlester Softball and Volleyball is being sponsored by Consignment Exchange, and I've been doing commercials for them since I was 8 years old. Here's the connection. My great-grandfather and grandmother started the business over 50 years ago. Now my papa, Nana, and Aunt Cleora have continued. The idea was to give a place where folks could buy quality previously owned furniture, and now it's grown as a place where families who need to liquidate estates or simply have something they need to sell, Consignment Exchange is that place. At 9 years old, I came up with the tag of McAllister's favorite furniture store is Consignment, Highway 69 South, and it still is.
Welcome back to the MAC here for the start of set number 4 as McAlester lost to Wagner in set 3, 25-22. Now, a couple of, I don't know how you want to put it, but things that could have gone one way or the other did not go McAllister's way towards the end. Most specifically, 2 points that were given to Wagner at the end there, and it was just too much for McAlester to overcome. So now McAlester trying to close things out with a gentleman's sweep. 3-1 here. Because again, it's the first one to win 3. For McAlester to start things out, they've got Maddie Harvey on the floor, Logan Bradish, Jalen Moscato, Kylie Glover, Hannah Harrison, and Ellie Bass. That'll be the 6 to get things started for your Lady Buffs. And Wagner's going to try to extend this at least one more set. We'll see. Buffalo's trying to end things here on senior night. Here's service from Wagner to get the third set started. Bradish with the save, Glover with the setup near the net, and Harrison will just knock it over her head. Bulldogs trying to get a spike. It's knocked over to Glover, who saves it. Bass with the setup. Get it to Moscato, who'll knock it over. The Bulldogs do a really good job of setting up her spikes. As Bass has it, she'll throw it over to Moscato. Moscato with a nice return, but it's dug out by a Bulldog. Ellie Bass sets it up again for Moscato. A spike towards the backside, and it's in. Buffs get a point. 1-0 McAlester. Service now goes to Ellie Bass on the backside. Buffs up 1-0 here. Bulldogs with the return. Out of bounds. 2-0 here, McAlester. Already a different start than what we had last game. Wagner started out on top, kind of stayed on top for most of the time until McAlester tied it up at 22 apiece. Here's the 2-0, and that's an ace. Nice job that time from Ellie Bass. Her third ace in the fourth set here. Well, just total into the fourth set. She had one in the first and second set. Didn't have one in the third. McAlester up 3-0. Bass with the serve once again. Bulldog hits it on the side. Set it up for a hit over. Bass knocks it up. Harvey with the setup to Glover. She'll knock it over, and that's going to be knocked onto the ground for a McAlester point. 4 straight points to start for McAlester. So Bass with another serve, up 4-0. It's dug out, and that's an ace once again. Ellie Bass with another ace, and McAlester jumps out to a 5-0 lead. And Wagner's going to take a timeout to talk about it. We'll go ahead and stay here. Last time they took a timeout, it was a very quick timeout, but it's been very different for the start of this third set. McAlester grabbing some momentum, maybe feeling a little bit scorned with the way that second set ended and coming out with their hair on fire. 5 straight points, and Ellie Bass has 2 straight aces to start off the set. McAlester, they started off 2-0 on the first 2 sets, won 25-15 in set 1, 25-21 in set 2, and then fell 25-22 in set number 3. And currently they lead at 5-0 here in set number 4. Trying to end things in set 3. Don't want it to go the full 5. So Ellie Bass once again up. An opportunity for another ace. She's got 4. Here's service out of that timeout. Knocked up by a Bulldog. Set up and knocked over. Hits the net off of a Buffalo's hand and rolls over for a point. So Wagner finally gets a point back here, and it's 5-1. A lot of cheering from both sides. Again, that is the Wagner team that you can see over there, JV and 9th grade. McAlester side down 5-1. Glover with a nice spike down, but it's saved by a Bulldog. They'll have to just knock it over two-handed. Glover with the setup over to Bass. Bass will throw it up from Moscato with the spike. Backside, too strong. Leaks just past that back white line. So 5-2. 2 straight points for Wagner. And it's 5-2. Got some more wet spots on the floor. Coach Burns coming out once again to fix it. Again, this is the senior night for McAlester, but it's their first game of the season. This is the home opener here at the MAC. Trying to get a leadoff win to start the season on the right side. Still wiping up some perspiration off the floor. And I think we're finally getting back to action here. All right, here we go. Wagner's service down by 3. Knocked over, dug out by Glover. Over to Bass. Set up over to, looks like, Moscato, and she scores a point. Moscato with a nice tap over the net. Found the open spot, and Buffs go back up by 4. Moscato with the service. That's another ace for Moscato. Make it 6 total for the senior. So she'll get another opportunity here. Here's service from her. McAlester up by 5. Wagner with the setup. Soft little tip over to Bradish. And Ellie Bass will just knock it to the back corner. Nice job. And nice vision. Once again by the senior. This is a senior-heavy team. Buffs go up by 6. Their largest lead of the game. 8-2 here. And set number 4, Moscato with the service. Dug out by the libero on the Wagner side. They'll try to return it to the backside. Moscato saves it over to Bass. The setup knocked over by Glover, and that's going to be a point. Knocked it just over the outstretched hands of a Wagner defender on the front. For where you're watching the front right side of the net. On the Wagner side to score a point. So 9-2, the largest lead of this set for McAlester. And that serve from Moscato for the first time tonight is knocked into the net. That's not something we've seen from her so far. Back to Wagner now. Down 9-3. Service from them. Saved by Harvey. Set up over to Bass. She'll knock it up over to Glover. And it's blocked, but saved by Harvey. And it's just knocked with 2 hands by Bass over the net. Saved by Wagner. Moscato will set it up over to Bass. Back over to Harrison, and she'll knock it over. Wagner has it. And it's grabbed by a Bulldog, which is a point to McAlester. Again, you can't grab the ball in volleyball. Elena Christie, will check in now for Maddie Harvey. Service to Hannah Harrison off the backside. 10-3 the score. Bulldogs with the return. Nice dig out by Harrison. Over to Bass. Glover trying to spike it, knocks it straight into the net. So it's 10-4. McAlester kind of staying at arm's length here, nursing a 6-point lead. It's 10-4. Service for the Bulldogs now. Not a very strong hit. Glover has it. Knocks it over to Bass, and Moscato will knock it over. And it's blocked at the net, but dug out that time by Christie. Knocked over to a Bulldog, and they're going to say that a Bulldog reached over the net. So McAlester point, 11-4 now, back up by 7. Again, McAlester just remaining at arm's length here offensively. Service from Logan Bradish off the backside. Good serve. Dug out by the libero on the back. Knocked up by a Bulldog. They'll have to just knock it over on the third hit. Bradish will set it up over to Bass. Bass over to Christie. Christie one-hand taps it, and it's saved by the Bulldogs. Bass knocks it over to Harvey. Harvey up to Glover. Glover will knock it over, and that's not going to be saved. Another point. McAlester with some vengeance in this this fourth set. 12-4 the score. Service from Bradish again. That's an ace. That's in. Bulldogs just misread it. Thought it was going to be long. And for Bradish, that is her first ace tonight. Here coming in set number 4. We've got a timeout. We'll take it with them. We'll be back in 30 seconds. McAlester leads it in set 4 over Wagoner, 13-4. We'll be right back.
McAlester Clothing Consignment accepts consignments on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. All items must be gently used and in good shape. Please label all bags, boxes, or totes with the consignor's name. The limit on bags is 2 13-gallon bags per consignor per week. The consignment split is 50-50. Hey, bargain shoppers, we have all types of clothing, home decor, toys, hand tools, handbags, jewelry, sports equipment, and more. McAlester Clothing Consignment, 405 East Chickasaw Avenue, Suite B, McAlester. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Sundays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Call 918-318-7986.
Welcome back to the MAC out of that 30-second timeout. Bradish with the service. McAlster's up by 9. 13-4 here in set number 4. Wagoner with the return. It's way out of bounds, and McAlester ties their largest lead of the night. With a 10-point lead, it's 14-4 here in set number 4. McAlester looking to close things out on senior night here. Bradish with another service from the backside. It's her third. Another good one towards the left sideline. Saved by a Bulldog. They'll knock it out. Blocked at the net by Christie, but took an awkward bounce off of her wrist. That's a Wagoner point. It's 14-5. Lexi Peacock checking in for Logan Bradish. So over to Wagoner now. Down by 9. Too long of a serve. McAlester takes the 10-point lead right back. 15-5. Now just 10 points away from closing things out on senior night. It'll go to Kylie Glover on the backside. Her first services of this match. It's a good one. It's dug out, though, just barely by Wagoner. It's a long return from the backside. It goes, tough dig out by Glover. It's over to the Wagoner side. And a Buffalo reached over the net. Christie reached over. Now that time, I will say, that was the correct call. I really don't think she had to reach over there. I don't think it would have cleared the net, but just one of those things. And you'll take that when you're up by 9 in set number 4. Doesn't really hurt you that bad. Goes back to Wagoner now. Dug out by Peacock. Over to Moscato. She'll just tap it over, and it rolls on the net after a knockback from Wagoner. And it's now 15-7. So the libero on the Wagoner side going to serve here. Down by 8, 15-7. Serve over to Harvey. She saves it. Bass will knock it over. It's a little tricky when she does that a couple times. Saved by the Bulldogs. Over to Harvey. Bass will lay it up for Moscato. Knock it over to the backside, and that's going to be a point. Moscato scores another one as the Buffs go up by 9 once again. 16-7 is the score here in set number 4. Harrison will check in now for Maddie Harvey. And Aubrey Polam will check in for Elena Christie. So Polam on the backside getting ready for her first service of this set. McAlester up by 9. Hits the net. And Harvey will check right back in. 16-8 is the score. So Wagoner ball here. Their serve, down by 8. Tough return on a very low serve. A good one from the Bulldogs. And hit Peacock a little low and saved it just barely and didn't really have enough time to react. That time did Glover, which resulted in the hit that couldn't get over. So another point for Wagner. It's 16-9. Here's service. Nice dig out by Glover from the backside. Bass will set it up for Moscato. It'll hit the net and roll over for a McAlester point. Moscato has just been nearly untouchable on the Wagner side defensively. And Bradish will check back in for Peacock. Service from Bass, and it looked in. That's an ace. Nice job from Ellie Bass. Her third here of this set. Service again from Bass, dug out by a Bulldog. A setup at the net for a spike. Nice save by Glover. Took that one almost off the chest. Bass over to Harvey, who knocks it over. A setup for the Bulldogs on a spike, and they find a good spot, an open spot, as they reach 10. 18-10. Wagner serve here down by 8. It's 18-10 in set number 4. McAlester leads it 2-1. Serve from Wagner. Glover digs it out over to Bass at the net. A setup for Moscato. Just kind of taps it over. The Bulldogs on their third hit do knock it over. Harvey knocks it up. Bass with the setup. Over to Bradish, and it's blocked at the net, but saved by Bass. Bulldogs knock it to the backside, away from Harvey. They get another point back. It's 18-11. So Wagner serve here. Down by 7. McAlester, though, has stayed at arm's length ever since they started out up 7-2 and 5-0. Then we have a let on the Wagner side, which means it hit the net and then just fell over. And that is a point for the Bulldogs. Just a very unfortunate drop as nobody is playing up that close. A wet spot on the floor, and Coach Burns may need to come out there. No, I think they're saying it's all right. So Wagner service once again. It's 18-12. Does clear the net. Harvey saves it from the backside. Bass with the setup. Over to Glover. Way too much on it. Knocks it out of bounds. And it's 18-13. Five-point game now. It's the closest it's been in a while. Wagner with the service. Harvey over to Glover. Glover saves it, and Bradish knocks it over with one hand. The Bulldogs have it. They're going to go for a spike here. Just a soft hit over, and Bradish knocks it over. It's saved. Might have been a point for Wagner, though. Looked like it was going out of bounds. Wagner knocks it over. Glover over to Bass. Bass with the setup to Moscato. Moscato rises up and scores a point. 19-13. 6-point lead, and Moscato right on time. Heading back for her time to serve. 6-point lead for the Buffs. Service from Moscato. On the backside, Wagner knocks it up. Going for a spike. It's blocked, and it goes out of bounds. But it hit a Buffalo last, so that means it's Wagner point. Wagner making it interesting. Buffaloes went up by 10 at one point. And now it's down to 5. But still a long ways to go here for Wagner to reach that 25 spot. Buffalo's looking to get the win in 4 sets, 3-1. As they currently lead at 2-1. Won the first 2, lost the third, trying to win the fourth. It's 19-14. Here's the service from Wagner. Saved by Moscato on the backside. Bass with the knock up over to Glover. Glover with a knock, and that goes back off of a Bulldog for another point. 20-14. So it's now Maddie Harvey with the serve on the backside. So Harvey with the service. Up by 6 is McAlester. It's a deep one. Bulldogs have it. They'll knock it over. And it's blocked at the net, but I think that fell on McAllister's side. Christie jumped to block, but I think after it hit her hand, just fell straight down on McAllister's side. Either that or she knocked it out of bounds. One of the two. Either way, it's Wagner point and Wagner ball. And we've got another wet spot. So once again, some condensation on the floor being wiped up by Coach Burns, wearing 2 hats today. Coaching and obviously cleaning up the floor. Done a pretty good job of it. But Wagoner ball down by 5. 20-15 on the serve. McAlester knocks it over. The Bulldogs with the return going for a spike. And it looks too deep, but I believe that hit a Buffalo. So now it's a 4-point game, 20-16. Service to Wagoner now, who has made this very interesting. Service from them. Moscato digs it out over to Bass. Tossed up over to Christie. Saved by a Bulldog. Wagoner knocks it over once again. Off the hands of Moscato, went backwards. Harvey will just knock it closer, and Glover will knock it over her head. The Bulldogs on the return, a set up for a spike. It's blocked at the net by Christie, and it's inbounds. 21-16. McAlester goes back up by 5. We've got a sub on the Wagoner side, I believe. So Logan Bradish going back to serve now. 4 points away from a senior night victory here at home. Here's the serve. Hits the net and falls through. 21-17. Wagoner gets a point back. She'll come off for Lexi Peacock. 21-17 is the score. And it's Wagoner's serve. Dug out by Harvey. Bass on the layup. Christie knocks it over with one hand. Bulldog with a nice save. Going for the spike is Wagoner. Tips it over. Nice dig out. That time couldn't quite tell who that is. But McAlester with a nice dig. And Harvey, it's knocked off of her hands. Goes out of bounds. Wagoner gets a point back. And that was Lexi Peacock on the other side, who had a nice return. So Wagoner, who's trailed by, I believe, as many as 10 here in this game, has made it a 3-point game at 21-18. McAlester started out on a 5-0 run and then went up 7-2 and just kind of expanded from there. The serve is too long. McAlester gets a point back. It's 22-18 now. So now it's Glover with the serve. Needing 3 more points to win. A deep serve, saved by a Bulldog. Not going to have an opportunity for a spike, and it hits the net, but it goes over. Nice dig out that time from Harvey, laying out for it. Bulldogs on the return over here. Nice shot from Wagoner. It's a 3-point game, 22-19. Wagoner is just not going away. So now it's Bulldog serve from their libero. And it's an ace. And it's a 2-point game. Things have gotten very, very interesting the last 10 minutes here compared to how the first 5 minutes of it started. 22-20, service from Wagoner, and it's off of Christie, and that's a point for Wagoner. I believe that's 4 unanswered now. We've got a timeout. We'll take it with them. McAlester still leads it 22-21 here on senior night. We'll be right back.
McAlester softball and volleyball is being sponsored by Consignment Exchange, and I've been doing commercials for them since I was 8 years old. Here's the connection. My great-grandfather and grandmother started the business over 50 years ago. Now my papa, Nana, and Aunt Cleora have continued. The idea was to give a place where folks could buy quality previously owned furniture, and now it's grown as a place where families who need to liquidate estates or simply have something they need to sell, Consignment Exchange is that place. At 9 years old, I came up with the tag of McAllister's favorite furniture store is Consignment, Highway 69 South, and it still is.
Welcome back to the MAC. Things have gotten very interesting here as the Buffaloes lead Wagoner 22-21 here in set 4 for what could be a deciding set. Serve is not a strong one. Ellie Bass knocks it over surprisingly, and it's saved by a Bulldog. Over to Bass once again on the McAlester side, laying it up for Moscato. Saved by a Bulldog on the backside. They've got to hit it over. It's a very awkward position. It hits the scoreboard, which means that's a McAlester point. Man, if not for the scoreboard there, Wagoner would have had a return. And remember, you have to win by 2. McAlester cannot win 25-24. It's got to be at least 25-23. You've got to win by 2. And right now they're up by 2 with Elena Christie going back to serve. It's 23-21. Christie on the serve. It's a good one. I think it's in. And that's an ace for Christie. McAlester 1 point away from grabbing the win. We're now down to match point. Christie with her 4th ace of the night, and we've got a standing room only for what could be the final point of the game. Christie with the serve here for McAlester. 24-21 is your score. Service from Christie, and it's too strong. So it looks like, at least right now, they're not going to win on a serve. So it goes back to Wagoner. It's a 2-point game, 24-22. Bulldogs from 10 down have made this a 2-point game. What a game this 4th set has been. Here's service from the Bulldogs. Saved by Glover. She'll knock it up over to Bass. Bass with the setup from Moscato at the net. Got a great hard hit, but it's good enough for the game-winning point. Moscato has done it all tonight, and she gets it done for the Buffaloes here on senior night and on their home opener as the Buffaloes win it 3-1, 25-15, 25-21, and now 25-21 once again. What a night for senior night. We'll go ahead and take our final break. We'll be right back and come back with a recap of this one. Buffs win it in 3-1 over Wagoner on senior night. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula. With 2 locations to choose from, we have close to 200 vehicles on the ground and coming in. And with vehicles starting at $29.95, we have something for everyone. And if you need parts or service, we are loading up at both locations to serve you better. Plus, with our mobile service van and our pickup and delivery, we can help you with sales and service no matter where you are. So come see us at Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in McAlester and Eufaula and let us make it happen for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the MAC. What a night for opening night and senior night here in McAlester as the Lady Buffs win it 3-1 after an exciting 25-22 4th set win. The Buffs, they won the first 2 sets. The first one 25-15. The second one 25-21. They lost the 3rd set 25-22, but then came back here in the 4th to win 25-22. Once again, 3-1. The Buffaloes, they'll start the season out 1-0 after this win over Wagoner. I do want to say thank you guys for joining us here on the YouTube-only stream. This volleyball program has been brought to you by Consignment Exchange, Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford, and McAlester Clothing Consignment. We're going to go ahead and send you back to regularly. Well, we're not on the radio. I'll get used to that, folks, I promise. Thank you for joining us tonight. Have a good rest of your Thursday and enjoy your weekend.